April 23rd, 2010, from the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media in seasonally confused Warwick, Rhode Island, this is NewsUndies. For April 23rd, 2010, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. Beautiful bulldog pageant in Iowa completed. Judger's driver's license is suspended pending vision check. Icelandic volcano's name still unpronounceable. Texas denies gay divorce, too. Space shuttle continues perfect safety record since last disaster, just in time to be canceled. Irony. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on, let's rock! For Saturday the 17th, Don Kirshner and Jan Hammer. For Sunday the 18th, Cindy Pickett and Rick Moranis. For Monday the 19th, Dick Sargent, dead, and Tim Curry. For Tuesday the 20th, Mary Jane Juana and Adolf Hitler, dead! Coincidence? Wednesday the 21st, Max Weber, dead, and Iggy Pop. For Thursday the 22nd, Wolf Vishniak, dead, and Aaron Spelling, dead. For Friday the 23rd, Max Planck, dead, and Jim Fix, dead. That's Celebrity Birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done! We'll be back with stories in detail right after this.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
Richard Fuld, former CEO of Lehman Brothers. You remember Lehman Brothers, right? The investment bank that got driven into the ground back in September of 2008. Well, Richard Fuld, whom I think we can safely call Dick, told a congressional panel this week that he had, quote, absolutely no recollection whatsoever, end quote, of any documents relating to the firm's use of the creative accounting prestidigitation known as, quote, Repo 105, end quote. Dick also remarked, and this is before Congress now, quote, one day we had a firm, the next day we did not. A lot of people got hurt by that, and I have to live with that, end quote. Really, Dick? I suppose the tens of millions of dollars you paid yourself in salary, bonuses, and stock grants, particularly in the years leading up to the collapse of the company, help ease the pain. For the last year, Fuld has been working for a hedge fund called, get this, Matrix Associates. Talk about seeing how deep the rabbit hole goes. This week marks the 5th anniversary of the election of Joseph Rizzo to his friends, Ratzinger, as Pope Benedict XVI. It also marks his 83rd birthday. As part of the celebration, the Pope admitted that he is head of a wounded sinner church. Yeah, really? You think? The Pope just recently returned from a trip to Malta where he met privately with abuse victims and promised them he would do everything possible to bring abusive priests to justice. I would think that that would at least include turning them over to law enforcement authorities in the jurisdictions where the crimes took place. What's that I hear? Is that the Pope outlining his plan to do just that? No, I guess not. Cameron Douglas. It's refreshing to know that even the most vapid and pointless reality TV has its moments of clarity. Dancing with the Stars has kicked Kate to the curb, and that's not easy to say. The New York Times is reporting that a bill currently before the Senate does nothing to make the so-called too-big-to-fail banks any smaller. Instead, the bill proposes rules to compel banks to hold more capital and make banks fail safe. Is it smart to continue with the giant banks as they are? Here are Pig and Sheep with their thoughts.
You Obamianists are all alike.
take from the rich and give to the poor. Where do you think all those rich banks got all their money in the first place? From lending it to poor people so they could live beyond their means, of course. That's the American way. That's capitalism, and it works, baby. Woo! Wait, what the hell did he just say? Look, the 1994 repeal of the Bank Holding Company Act of 1956, as well as subsequent legislation, allowed these banks to get to be too big to fail in the first place. Regulation already existed, which kept the banks and the risks they could assume manageable. Idiot politicians removed the regulation, and the economy self-destructed. Break up the banks, restore the regulation, and bring back customer-focused banking. Anything else is an ineffective half measure. That's what Pig and Sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email them to ovcomments@newsundies.com. And now, here's Moose Weintraub with the Sports Half Minute.
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute. It's a whole half minute of sports. 30 seconds of sports. Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
Here's your Sports Half Minute. I'm Moose Weintraub. The Finnish sport of wife carrying finally seems to be getting the respect it...
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
Thanks, Moose. Always a great report from Moose. First there was the fact that it's $500. Then there was the fact that, in essence, it's just a giant iPod Touch. Then there was the network problems iPads were causing all over university campuses. Now they're big theft targets. Bill Jordan, 59, of Aurora, Colorado, had part of his left pinky severely damaged in a daylight robbery at nearby Cherry Creek Mall. The thief made off with Jordan's iPad as well as a bunch of skin and connective tissue. Doctors ended up having to amputate much of the damaged finger, and reported he also had nerve damage on the neighboring ring finger. Fortunately, he won't need those fingers to use his new iPad. Well, his next new iPad. We'll be back with your exclusive past-cast weather and the final news roundup right after this.
Most people are really creeped out by me. Not you.
No! Who's creeped out by you? That's ridiculous. I wanna know who that is.
The neighbors to the right, the neighbors to the left, and everyone else.
That just doesn't seem right. You're such a nice guy.
I'm not a guy.
And now, here's your exclusive past-cast weather for the week ending Friday, April 23rd, 2010.
The Deep South had just about everything except snow. The Upper Midwest had snow, then sunny, cool conditions. The Heartland had thunderstorms, then sun, starting cool but getting very warm.
And that's your exclusive past-cast weather. Carstaches? Paul Hutton, a 40-year-old divorced father of 4 and self-confessed complete twit, was stopped for what is called in England, quote, drink driving, end quote. Near his home in Essex, he received a 3 to 5 year driving ban due to a prior offense in the last 10 years. What was he driving? A dangerous, high-performance, electric-powered Barbie car. Yes, the ones designed for 3 to 5 year olds. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? This week marked a great many important anniversaries. Here are just a few of them. 1653, Oliver Cromwell dissolves the Rump Parliament. 1889, the birth of Adolf Hitler. 1864, Congress mandates "In God We Trust" on all coins. In 1910, the death of Mark Twain. 1918, the Red Baron logged his 80th air combat victory and was killed in action the next day. 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion. 1964, Ford introduces the Mustang. 1985, New Coke is released. 1988, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon ends its 741-week tenure on the Billboard 200 album chart. 1989, a powder explosion on the USS Iowa kills 47. 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing. 1999, the Columbine High School massacre. And 2005, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger is elected Pope. Well, that's all for this edition of News Undies. Remember, News Undies is a weekly show, and we'll be back next Friday, April 30th, with fresh undies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, email your story tips to undies@newsundies.com. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be making excuses for the Pope.